Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to DSP Sports. I'm Don Stevens. I'm here with David Beard, and we're going to talk more about the NFL. How you doing, David?
Great. Good to be with you, Don.
Before we go into wins and losses and stupid plays, I want to talk about Minnesota Vikings firing their manager. What is the deal?
I think that they decided they didn't want him to be their coach, and the owner wasn't going to fire him. So it pretty much looked to me like they quit last weekend.
I mean, how in the world do they really think that the reason why they're not winning is because Brad Childress wasn't doing a good job at managing? Or could it possibly be that they have a has-been, good-for-nothing, penis-texting quarterback that cannot make things happen?
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Okay, couldn't...
You know what, though, Don? As much as I understand what you're saying, I hope he continues to play because I actually enjoy watching him play. I don't really like him personally, and I love watching... And I don't really root for him because he's either so good or so bad, and to me that makes for good watching football.
Sure. I mean, I was rooting for him for the last two seasons. I didn't root for him in Green Bay. I rooted for him in New York, and I rooted for him in his first season there with Minnesota. And every ounce of common sense would have pointed to me continuing to root for him at the beginning of this season, because he went off last season on that playoff loss, and it was pretty much, for the most part, season-wise, on a pretty high note. And then I expected the same thing to happen, but something, I don't know, maybe I'm getting sick of off-season Brett Favre.
Well, this was the first year, Don, that he didn't want to come back this year. The other couple of years, he retired, then he wanted to come back. This year, he really felt like it was it. He didn't want to come back, but the team put so much pressure on him that, they flew those guys down there and got him to come back. And it's almost like his heart just isn't into it this year because he didn't want to come back. And now they're stuck with 3 wins, 12 weeks in.
Really? I didn't know he didn't want to come back. I thought he was just playing his normal Brett Favre. I'm not sure. I have to decide. Okay, yeah, I'll do it. That's how he's done it for the last couple of years,
Yeah, but this year in particular, he actually said late, almost in the training camp, that he wasn't coming back. And it went further than last year to the point where Childress actually sent, guys down to Mississippi to spend the weekend and talk him into coming because he basically said he was done. But they put all the pressure on him to come back, and that's why I just don't think his heart has been into it this year. I think he just wanted to retire, especially with this, penis texting stuff coming out over the summer and, knowing that was going to get big. He probably didn't want to come back, and now he's back, and his penis is all over the internet, and allegedly. And he is miserable, I think. I think he is thinking 20-year career is kind of shot because of this 1 year and penis texting.
Well, I introduced the fact that he really doesn't want to play into the equation, that I can understand why they're losing. And that kind of brings me to the same point. They're losing because of him, because they wanted him.
It's justice, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, okay, fine. We got Brett Favre and his penis out of the way. Let's talk.
Yeah, I've seen it. There wasn't much in the way, so we're good.
Now we've got the New England Patriots, a team.
You love to make me talk about the New England Patriots, don't you, Don?
A team that you have no love for whatsoever. Yet they win again. we don't have to talk about that. I just wanted to bring it up, David.
I wasn't aware they even played last weekend,
huh? And we have a team that we both wanted to win that could have, but they just couldn't pull it off. The St. Louis Rams.
Yeah, it was a bummer, but they're playing probably the best team in the NFC, and they, for 3 quarters were the better team or close, and then Atlanta just has too much talent and pulled ahead. And what bummed me out about that game is I was good to go the whole game with them losing by 2 points or a touchdown because it was so close.
Uh-huh.
But in the last couple minutes there, when Bradford turned it over, which is no big deal, that happens. The guy barely turns the ball over, so he'll be fine. But I kind of felt like after that happened, our defense quit and let the running back run for a huge touchdown. And it was like all of a sudden the score looked like a blowout. And it wasn't a blowout, but I didn't like that they quit. It's something that usually you don't see in a Spags defense.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, the Rams are playing for most of the game like a real football team. And then I saw on your Facebook post how happy you were that your Rams lost.
No, I wasn't happy
because they're losing so much better than they did last season.
No, I'm happy that they're competitive again. There's a big difference there.
I know. I'm just messing with you.
Well, let me tell you the difference. Let me explain to you why. Last year, we were so bad that 1 quarter in, we were down by 21 points. And it's just nice to be able to be stressed out again, watch the game all the way through, and not know until the end. So I think that's come a long way. And for me, being such a huge Rams fan, it's a moral victory.
Introducing our show to someone, they heard you talking on our last show about how Sam Bradford is the next Peyton Manning, and he took issue with what you had said. He said the Rams suck, and he said that you're wrong. How do you respond to that?
Well, here's the thing is, and you know what, obviously your buddy, your friend, or whatever, he is thinking that, he's always on a Rams fan or follows him closely like I do, but, everybody knows how great Peyton Manning is. And so what he's saying is probably something that he thinks is correct and makes perfect sense to him. Obviously, he doesn't study the film or whatever, but with Sam Bradford, he has one of the quickest releases I've ever seen. He has no receivers with the Rams. The receivers are horrible. The 2 top guys have blown out their knee. His line protection has been horrible this year, and he still manages to not get hurt. And that ability to get rid of the ball before you get hit is something I've only seen in Peyton Manning. That's where I'm comparing it to, and something that can only get better as he does. So
this guy is the true deal then, because I just assumed that the defense must be doing their job better than they had in previous seasons. But he's making this happen despite the fact that they're not the offensive line there that does all the defensing for him is still crap.
It's better, but it hasn't been great. And their number 1 draft pick they got last year, I forget his name right now, but he's been hurt with concussions in and out of the lineup, and when he's been in, he hasn't been that effective. So we could, and he has no receivers, Don. I mean, this guy is throwing to 3rd and 4th string receivers, and that the Rams have had a problem with receiver for 2 years now, and I've been screaming about it like crazy. And it's just something I guess hopefully they'll address next year when they have to.
They've got 3 away games coming up.
Yes.
Which one will they win?
They will win. Okay, I'm going to look like an idiot come 2 weeks from today. They will win the next 2 games, Don. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a fan of the Rams. I've watched Denver, San Diego. I expect the Rams to go into Denver and win. I've watched St. Louis play San Diego, and I've watched San Diego play Denver. I think the Rams are going to win that game. I almost can guarantee victory unless Kurt Warner comes back, that they're going to go into Arizona and win because they have a lot more confidence now than they did that first week. Plus, Arizona has lost confidence in everything and seem to be losing every week now. If they do that, then they're going to lose to New Orleans. There's just nothing they can do there in New Orleans. But I really think they could win those next two games, and I would be shocked if they did not win at least one of them.
Okay. Well, we have that on the record now. All right, now we have a man that has gone to jail. He's done his time. He's paid his debt to society. He says he's sorry. And now he's back on the field. Micheal Vick, from what I've seen this season, has played some pretty good and entertaining football. How do you feel about that?
You know, I will never like Micheal Vick. And I can't tell you every time I see him talk that I don't think about him putting a gun to a dog's head and pulling the trigger, because I do, and it makes me sick. But I do believe he has served his time, and I honestly believe that the guy is genuinely remorseful. So, I mean, at this point, what else can you do to the guy? You know, I mean, that we haven't already, you know, that he hasn't already paid for. So I think he should get a second chance. And to be honest with you, he's probably the MVP in the league right now.
I know. I watched a game. I was with the wife and kids and my stepfather, and we went to a place called the Tilted Kilt, where these babes wear the smallest uniforms. It's wonderful, and and they had more televisions than you would ever see in a bar. I mean, they basically wallpapered their wall with televisions. And I was sat right in front. It was Monday night, and I was sat right in front. And it was McNabb versus Vick, and I was watching that game. And Vick and his squad just tore the field up. I mean, it was just amazing and very fun to watch. And for whatever team has him, I'm glad that he's doing his job, because that's what you want a quarterback to do. But I just wanted to talk to you about that, because a couple of the people that I've talked to, they can't get over the fact that he's a big, mean, evil, bad man, and they can't enjoy him watching him play football. And the fact that you can says a lot about you. And everything.
You know, I love dogs.
Yeah, I know you love dogs. Is there anything that you want to talk about specifically, David?
Well, I'd like you and your family to have a good Thanksgiving, Don.
You know I will. And you have a Thanksgiving too. And all you out there listening, have a great Thanksgiving. And this is DSP Sports.